specific, developing enterprise marketing capabilities and developing within brands. Her message was, get out of this island mentality and treat the whole world, at least Indian subcontinent, as your market. Then we moved over to people, Internet of People, how we leverage digital to create brand communities. How do we leverage, digital to create that intimate, meaningful, close, deep, profitable customer engagement. Then you move over to second session, which was more technology. We discussed mobile. We discussed, before that we discussed Omni. So that session was about how do you leverage digital and mobile. And there were a tremendous amount of learning, particularly in the area of e-commerce. What are the value propositions that work in the rest of the world, but why aren't they working? And there were some success stories. Then we heard about social relationship management, which is totally new to us. Because when we say we have a social strategy, what we mean is actually have Facebook and start collecting likes. So social strategy, Sunil spoke about, is much broader, much wider, much encompassing phenomena. So we are now on to data science. After last year's summit, we had this request from few, and many actually, quite a few marketers. Lakshman, you are talking about data. We are talking about IoTs. How are we going to relate that to marketing? And how are we going to relate in building brands? Now, marketers in general are data-savvy folks. Because you can't, you know about your sales numbers, you know about your survey research, you know about the macroeconomic data, which is influencing. So what is big about big data? The term started appearing in somewhere in 1990s, if I'm right, Ramesh, the term big data. Because, data we had throughout human history. And we had the volume of data, much earlier than we started talking about big data. But there are certain differences in the data we used in the past and the data these three gentlemen are going to talk about. I don't want to preempt them. So we have Rohan. Ron Paulus is from London Stock Exchange Group. He is setting up a facility in Sri Lanka to move 3 trillion a day, transaction engine to Sri Lanka. So I told Rohan, you're a very courageous guy. Then he told me, Lakshman, foolishness is also another word for courage. Manuja runs analytics company in this country. Very few of you know. That is sad part of it. Okay, because these guys actually service folks like J.P. Morgan and Goldman Sachs kind of financial big financial folks. And it's great that they're doing all that from a office in Kolpedi. So he's a data scientist. Ramesh has hands-on experience in data science. He's going to talk about something beautiful. He's going to tell you the holy grail of advertising and marketing. How do we find different elements of our marketing mix influence our sales, influence our market share? So that's the secret we all couldn't crack 20 years ago. Okay, but now because of the computing power, we can crack some of the huge volume of data and very complex algorithms. So he's going to make a demonstration. Actually, Manu, you also presenting cases. And Rohan is going to speak a little bit about introducing us what are the trends in big data and how data is helping enterprises in a very broad way and also in the financial services sector. And Kumudo's background is his PhD is in transport economics, am I right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, from Boston University, and he returned to Sri Lanka, couple of years back. Now he is looking after Stacks business in Singapore and developing, bringing their businesses, helping businesses, and they also do a certain amount of big data research and helping companies to transform themselves. So this is, I would say, bit heavy in content, maybe a little light in entertainment. And this is Kumudu's favorite session. He always asks me, Lakshman, give me a post-lunch session, and he particularly enjoyed that. And I'm very happy to oblige. So ladies and gentlemen, please welcome our panel on data science. How do you leverage big data to create winning brands?
Thanks, Lakshman. How is everybody doing? All psyched up for some data talk after lunch? Yeah? All right, so we'll try to keep this, there'll be some technical aspects, but we'll try to keep this as light as possible. And my job here is really to be the voice of you. So please send me questions that you have. These guys have a lot of experience. I think Lakshman forgot to introduce Ajit as well.
I'm extremely sorry. Ajit is Sampath Bank. He's Sampath Bank head of IT. I'm extremely sorry, Ajit. So Ajit is joining us because he has a lot of experience in initiating some of the digital initiatives he's responsible for some of the digital initiatives of Sampath Bank, trying to bring cutting-edge digital to enhance the banking experience of Sri Lankan consumers. So that's Ajit's background. Thanks, Ajit.
Great. So with that, call upon Rohan to start off the proceedings.
Thank you, Lakshman and Kumudu, for those generous sentiments of our esteemed panel. If you can hear me, I'll get close to this. What is data science? I think to make it easy, I've come up with a couple of definitions that, at a very simple level, this is what we're talking about. It's in short, how do we go about cleverly analyzing data to find trends and to be able to predict what's going to happen next, in short. But there is a paradigm shift that's quite happened already. In the past, you went about analyzing historical data and historical trends to try and predict the future. But clearly, the future is about being able to predict what's going to happen on the fly, just at speed, at pace. So many years ago, there was a big song and dance about how IBM managed to get a computer to beat the Gen chess champion Kasparov. And that was done obviously with a lot of very smart grand chess masters who had an input into the program. But now if you look at Google and what IBM is doing now, they're actually mimicking human behavior. And there is a level of intuition that is being achieved through machine intelligence. Some would loosely call it artificial intelligence. And that is, I think, a paradigm shift in the way large organizations and even small organizations can go about trying to understand what the future trends are and get closer to their customers. So I think it's no longer a case of looking at the past and to try and predict the future. I think the machines and the capabilities are there even for small enterprises to get access to some very complex and very smart predictive analytical tools which are available. So if you take the example of financial markets, they have to produce information and distribute the information to their clients at a very fast pace, because decisions are made in microseconds or nanoseconds. So the pace at which these technologies need to react and produce trends is in mind-boggling speeds. So I think that is the name of the game, certainly in the financial industry, because I think people are pursuing that. Very large organizations are doing that to get a competitive advantage, because there's constant pressure from companies who are providing financial services to get a much deeper insight into what they're producing, and also get that information across to their clients and their customers very quickly. I take the example of Brexit. I'm sure there were some very smart individuals who made a lot of money betting that Brexit would happen, but if there were organizations who were able to predict the likely outcome and then advise their clients as to what action to take, there would have been several billions being saved. So that is just an example of what is possible with this intuitive analytics. So kind of in summary, I think data science has evolved into a much more dynamic, intuitive science, because that is the only way, certainly in certain industries like financial markets and capital markets, that's the only way you can get a competitive advantage. And what's frightening, clearly, is the fact that machine intelligence now is mimicking our own behavior and our own thinking. So that is frightening for a lot of us. So clearly, the organizations and the enterprises are going to grasp this technology and use parts of it, are definitely going to have an edge in the future. Thank you very much.
Thanks, Rohan. I do have some follow-up questions, but maybe we can wait for the panel discussion on that. Manuja, maybe you can talk about how a consultant and a product developer of data sciences, how that field has evolved. So while this is being set up, maybe a follow-up question. Data sciences, I know Lakshman used the word big data. What's that all that hype about big data? You know, everybody's talking about big data can be used for everything. What is it? What is it? Can you get the mic, please?
So you're talking about the hype around big data. Clearly, big data has been around for a long time. I think going back 20, 30 years, there's been a lot of big data. I think the key is even if you have fantastic information about your customers, what do you do with it? What is the business advantage you can derive from that? And I think a lot of organizations fail to work that one out first. And then without chasing after big data and spending lots of money trying to mine it and get an insight. Right. I think clearly organizations must spend a lot more time figuring out what they could do, even if they have the Holy Grail in their hand.
Right. And what's maybe Ajit, I can bring you in for a quick this thing on how would you define big data? What's a layman's definition?
Thank you, Komodo. Since I am coming from a banking background, I can define big data as we have quite a lot of data, but we can categorize, basically we have master data, custom master data. Other than that, we have huge amount of data transaction level. That means deposit, withdrawal, payment, their purchasing. We have huge amount of transactional data. That's the second part. The third part is we have data from all the sources like social network, and there are so many other sources. So if you get all the data together, we call big data. If I go further, if you inculcate technology into the big data, we call it as a big data analytics.
So aggregation or interaction of multiple databases with technology is big data analytics.
As Rohan said, it was there even in the banking sector and other industries for a long time. But this is the time that we are talking of as a technology.
Good, interesting. Are you guys not ready yet? Okay. Don't want to get into the panel discussion right now, but it's not working? No? So Ramesh, do you have anything to chime on in terms of big data? Is that, I think Rohan mentioned the fact that it's been there for a long time.
Yeah, I think it's been there for a long time, especially if you look at things like weather predictions and stuff like that, or even stock market data. It's been huge data sets, and people have been looking at getting insights out of that, learnings out of that. It's always been the case, but what's happened in the last 2 decades or so is that that is now getting reflected in the consumer world. Given the fact that for a consumer, the avenues available to know about things has grown so much that there is lot more data that's now coming up in the consumer world. And a lot of things in the analytics space actually draws on the work that has happened in, say, whether it's in social sciences, and that's getting now implemented in the consumer world. And the more recent growth evolution has been, it's now not just big data, it's big structured data versus big unstructured data. Structured data, like in banking, you can track a person's behavior over the last 10 years. Unstructured is whatever they talk in the social, in the digital space is now getting captured. And then there are now efforts being made to make sense out of that. Not just in terms of saying whether it's a positive, negative, or a neutral, but even going specifically into the kind of emotions that are being expressed. I mean, it comes with its own set of challenges,
Sure.
but that's where it's moving.
Perfect. Great, thanks. Great, Manoj, so I think now that we have defined big data, you tell us how it's applied.
Exactly. Thanks, Kumundu. So it's really nice to see a lot of people just after lunch coming and listening to data and a lot about math, stat type of thing. So let me just start my presentation. I just want to capture certain things which I thought is important for all marketeers. So I'm only going to ask you 2 questions. Why, what? And then I'm going to give you a couple of examples, and then I'm going to show you how we can use artificial intelligence to do your marketing work. So the question is, why are you here? So why are you here? When I look at all your faces, I can understand that you're the people who are going to make a change in the marketing landscape. So if you want to make a change, you need to know what is the future. So what's the future? The future contains actually 4 key elements. One is the customers are willing to give you a part of their personal life, but they want something in return. What do they want? They want personalized products. They want personalized services. They want personalized content. Second thing is the advertising landscape, as you know, is going to change. Why? Because of social media. Third thing is personalization is not going to be a specialty. It's going to be the norm. Fourth thing is, because of all these changes, it will be very hard for marketers, it will be very hard for organizations to build engagement and keep people with them. So let me just take you through the history. So initially what happened was you had mass generalization, then it came up to mass customization. Now we are talking about hyper-personalization. Hyper-personalization focus on the individual, you. What is this hyper-personalization? So hyper-personalization is using data analytics to provide highly focused, highly personalized content. Content can be products, content can be services, content can be anything, such that you build engagement, you build brand loyalty. So how can we achieve this? So let me come to the second part of my slides. What can data science or data analytics do to help you? Right? So I'm going to take a couple of examples, and I'm going to take you all through these examples, and I hope that you will understand how data science can help you all to achieve that objective. So first practical example. This is what we did for the Hong Kong tourism, right? So we want to predict who is going to come to Hong Kong, who's going to visit Hong Kong. So as data scientist, I just have to show you a little bit of math, or else it won't be my forte. So the important part is this. Don't worry about the math. I will demystify it for you. Just think about this. What can math do? What can data science do? It's going to help you to break the problem into small, small areas. Once you break the problem into small, small areas, it's very easy to find what is relevant to the customers. Once you understand what is relevant to the customers, then you can search through their histories, then you can search through their records, then you can search through their profiles. Once you understand what is relevant to the customers, then what you can do is you can wait. You can find what is important out of these factors, what we call features. For example, features are like price, features might be the color, feature might be their age. So we can find out what is important for each and every segment, each and every customer, each and every individual. So once you do all these things, what can you do with that? The thing you can do is you can build predictive models. So what are predictive models? Predictive models are models or algorithms which can tell you what is going to happen in the future. So how do you do it? So once you understand what the customers are, you can play games with customers. You can find out where you are going wrong. You can find out what is going to happen. That is what is shown in these slides. Once you do all these things, you come to the aha moment. What is that aha moment? You understand the simplest or the simple truth. What is the simple truth? Why customers buy our product? When do they interact with us? And what do they want? So let me take an example and tell you how we can apply what we have now identified. Assume that you are a hotelier and you have identified all these customer trends. What can you do with this? So this is the most important thing. Just if you know what the customers, who the customers are, what do they do, what are they going to do, it doesn't matter. You need to build actionable products. You need to build actionable services. You have to build actionable content. People are coming and telling, I want to talk to you. I want to speak to you. I have problems. I have issues. I have needs. Can you solve those problems? Can you solve those needs? Can you give me what I want? So what are you going to do? So you're going to build actionable products. So if you look at the example which I have given, it shows you how we have identified the customer segments and analyzed the customers, understood what their individual needs are, and giving them what they want. So for example, if you are a budget traveler, I don't want to bombard you with whatever offers. I want to give you a focus offer. I want to show the relevant prices. I want to show you what is relevant to you. I want to show you what hotel rooms are relevant to you, not all the hotel rooms in the whole world. So let me take another example. And this is a classical marketing example of what we call segmentation. So if you look at this, you see a lot of clutter. Once you apply an algorithm to this data set, what is going to happen is it's going to find out segments or group of people who have similar needs. So once you identify these groups of people, then what you can do is you can dig deep and find out who are the individuals. What do they want? What do they like? When do they interact with us? Once you understand these things, then you can do, what you can do is you can build products. For example, in this restaurant example, what we can do is we can find connections between products, understand how products are, and understand how people buy these products, and then you can understand or evaluate how certain products are related. So let me take you another example. This is from retail. And this example is very important for one reason. Like every one of us are going to these supermarkets. What is going to happen? What has happened? So we go there, they tell that there's a loyalty card, give me your number. So we give them the number. Then what happens is we are bombarded with so much of garbage, right? So for example, if I am a vegetarian, I get meat offers. Is this what you call marketing, right? So how do you use this data analytics? How do you use these insights you gain to build products? So what we are showing here is you can build products so that the customer interaction becomes seamless. Give them promotions when they want the promotion, not when you want the promotion. So let me give you another example from the banking sector. So this is very important. Banking sector has a lot of information about people. So what they do is they have a 360-degree view. So then once you analyze the data, you get personalized marketing offers. Then you can get real-time customer engagement. Then you can have real-time campaign management. You can predict who is going to leave your organization, who's been loyal to you, and then you can maximize your share of wallet. So once you understand these things, what type of products can you build? You can build personalized financial planners, personalized financial advisors. So every color, every font, every data point in this example is personalized. So once you know and once you understand these people, your personalization becomes such an easy task. Let me give you another example. This is a fitness need app or a fitness app. So everybody is now talking about fitness. So how can you make a fitness app which reflects your individual needs, not the whole consumer group's needs? So this is how we have done it. All these data points, all these colors, all these charts are actually individualized. So if another person logs in, if another person uses this, it is going to change based on what the person wants. Now I'm going to focus your attention to AI. How can we use artificial intelligence to build better products, to give better services, to give customers a much needed personalization? Imagine that you're working for this pizza company. Imagine that you are heading these marketing operations. So what do you have? You have heaps and heaps of data. So what do you do with this data? You analyze this data, you tell your data scientists, analyze this data, and tell me who are my important customers, who are my VIP customers. So what I have done is I have selected 2 customers. The first one is a VIP customer, the second one is not. So how do you personalize this offer? So you can personalize this offer using an AI bot. I will show you the bot in a little bit, but I just want to focus on 4 key areas. So once you build this AI bot, you can achieve these 4 areas. So let me just show you the demonstration now. Sorry, sometimes the problem with technology is this. It does what you don't expect it to do. So until the video plays, let me just remind you the scenario. The scenario is you have 2 types of customers. You have a VIP customer and a non-VIP customer, important customer and a new customer. How do you differentiate this? How do you use AI to find out or give them personalized offers? I think we should have used AI here before coming. Minimize, okay. Done.
Yeah. Are you working, then maybe we...
Yeah, I think we'll show it at the later
yeah,
part.
yeah, if
Okay.
it's, yeah.
Okay, thanks.
So Manuja, just, I guess the key takeaway that I took from you is that the industry has moved from mass customization to hyper customization.
Exactly. Hyper-personalized.
Hyper personalization. But unfortunately, Sri Lanka, I think we are stuck in the mass customization. Is that because?
Yeah, I think
I'm saying that because I give my telephone number to any vendor, they bombard me with useless information.
exactly.
And unfortunately, data scientists are partly responsible for that.
Let me just answer that saying that there are different definitions of data scientists. So
The good, the bad, the ugly.
you have the sexy, the bad, and the ugly. Right? So sometime back, 2 years, I think 3 years back, Harvard Business Review said data scientists, they are the sexiest people in the whole world. So we got a lot of points. But then suddenly what happens is everybody wants to become a data scientist. So even people who just work on Excel or just runs a report say, oh, I'm a data scientist. I can do a lot of stuff. But when they actually want to do something, when they want to find insights, that is where the problem starts. So that's why I think Sri Lanka is stuck at this level where you have mass customization. Because you have a lot of bogus data scientists who are saying that they are data scientists, but they can't do anything. That's the problem. So if once you are a data scientist, what you do is you will use a lot of techniques, a lot of algorithms, a lot of insight. So data scientists are not mathematicians. Data scientists are not statisticians. A data scientist is a rare person who has mathematical ability, who will understand the business and can tell brilliant stories using whatever business data you have. So that is where the problem is, I think. And the other problem I think, Kumudu, why this is not going anywhere is, once you have something, you need to understand what to do with that. So a data scientist can churn data and give you a result, but the business should know what to do with that. So if the business doesn't know what to do with that, then whatever the data scientist does is in vain.
So it's a education of both.
It's an education of both, exactly.
Okay, great. Thanks,
Okay,
Manuja,
thanks.
for the good presentation. With that, call up. Ramesh lives and works in Singapore, so has a global perspective to bring to us.